And we are live, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Reseller Roundtable. I'm Alton, addicted to hustle. Who
I'm
we got
Scott.
over here? We got Mike.
I'm Mike, flipping goodies.
And I'm Scott, dumpster diver dad.
All right, fellas. Well, Brian is feeling a little tired this week. He wanted to take the day off, so I think we're all bound to do that every once in a while.
It's been a long week already, so I don't
It
blame
has.
him. But,
Trust me. We had a lot going on, a few things to work on myself, and believe it or not, I got like an hour of sleep. That's it. Like I've been up since yesterday and had to go sourcing today too and work, and it's been a heck of a ride. But I'm ready for the weekend. Got a few things to discuss with simple little topic, but it's more around this week around auctions. So I know we also saw the news where eBay is going to be releasing their live auctions. We can kind of cover that a little bit, but it kind of ties in tonight with the Whatnot auctions and the Whatnot app and the ever growing popularity of that through the reseller community. So Mike, did you say earlier, did you get a chance to watch a few of those today?
Yeah, I watched a few today. I think a lot's going to have to do when you first started. You're following, basically, right?
Right.
I mean, I think bringing people over there from your YouTube channel or wherever your social media is the strongest is probably going to be very beneficial to you. The couple I watched, they were big YouTubers, so I think that falls in line with being more successful on there. And something that you definitely got to consider before entering into that little realm is what kind of following or how many people can you expect to be at each auction, because
Right.
if you're starting auctions off at $1 and nobody's there, or one person, you're going to be giving a lot away for $1.
Right. And I think with that, like when we first, talked about this, like me and Sumo Thrift, Marcus, one of my good buddies, me and him have been on the platform for going on almost a year. We're approaching the 1 year mark, and we did it as a side project, like hey, when you get a certain amount of items, let's do this as a community thing. But we knew going into it that it wasn't going to be the profit that we got from eBay initially, because we didn't have the YouTube following, having only a few hundred subscribers here or 500 subscribers, that's not going to get you the following you need to have a successful auction. But now, I mean, we command anywhere between, and to me, this is good, 15 to 30 people a night, but these are not watchers. And that's the part that I'm having a hard time seeing on the YouTube side. And I could be totally wrong. Don't get me wrong. I see the sales happening, but how many of the people who are in that room are actually buying? Like if you see like a YouTuber with 5,000 followers already, and they're getting 150 people in their viewing, if only 10 are bidding, well, then I will outdo you in a single night already. And I've been at it, but it took me organically almost a year to get that amount of bidders. I know Scott, being relatively new to it, he's kind of, had the benefit of almost riding that wave with us. Because when we got him on, he really, it started from zero. And I think, did you break the 100 follower market, Scott?
Yes, I did last week.
Sweet. So, like, as you grow, like, I think Marcus is like at 600, almost 600 followers. And it's pretty weird to know that you got more followers on the community of people willing to buy from you than you do on the social media platform where you can tell people how to make money the best. Like, it's weird for YouTube. Like, it's not about the amount of followers you have, it's not about the amount of viewers you have. To have a successful auction, you need buyers. And I think the viewers, like, YouTube is a completely different animal. So are you enjoying it, Scott? So tell us what you're thinking.
So I did start from zero, and I did ride Alton and Marcus's coattails. They picked me up and carried me along a little bit. But I'm really enjoying Whatnot. It's a way to interact with your buyers, which I don't get on eBay, which I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago. And also I get to pick up the little small things at different thrift stores and bins that, make me $5-10, where if I put that on eBay, I wouldn't make that because I have to sit on it and then I have to come in and then promote it and everything else like that, where Whatnot just takes the 10 point whatever percent and the transaction fee. But I think it's a benefit for both the buyer and the seller, because the more you buy, the bigger discount on shipping you get, which the dollar shipping is what most people are taking account on. And eBay, like Brian was saying a couple weeks ago, Brian was talking about repeat buyers. Me, Alton, and Marcus have repeat buyers every time we go on an auction, and I do not see that on eBay. So I enjoy that a lot. And we could banter back and forth with our customers and give them a hard time, and they could give us a hard time, and we could all make some money. So
I think the beauty of that too is that you almost, I mean, when you see like the YouTube lives, when people when they're interacting with their community, we're doing the same exact thing. We're growing, we're learning about these people. Like when, I joke now, like when I see certain people come in, I go, oh, my chat has gone to hell in a handbasket. It really does. There's certain people that come in and it's a funny way of going downhill, but it'll never get out of the gutter. And it's funny, but you got to prepare the other people in the chat. Like, hey, I'm sorry in advance, but they're going to have a good old time. You can't, but they're buyers, so, and I can't wait for that to grow even more. Like I'll soon hit the 500 follower mark, and I'm enjoying that side of it. Now I do see the negative side of where, and this is for new people coming in. I think Whatnot is a great tool to use as you grow as a reseller, until you really grasp the community. You might not build a community, and that's the weird part, is you could do all this work and it not take hold, because what if people just don't like your personality? You might have the best product and you might list it within reason of average in price, but if you don't interact with them and you're just cold, no one's going to buy from you. I mean, who wants to go to a live auction and hear the guy stuttering when he should be rattling off the next numbers? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same thing for me. It's like we're not auctioneers and we're not doing the whole number rattling off, but we're vocally there, engaged with the people. And I think if you can't do that, it really limits your potential. And I'm not saying the initial gates of getting out with YouTube, but I think it's just that connection that you get with people. Like when I'll say this, one of my biggest buyers is Desert, and Scott knows what I'm talking about. And Desert comes in. What's the first thing I do? I go, Desert, my man, welcome in. Like, you got to welcome that person in, because they're taking care of you. You want them to be part of your community and feel so welcome. And you take the time out. I don't care if I'm in the middle of an auction. I'll take the time out and say, oh, look who's coming in the house, and I think that's the part of it that people really need to grasp. So if you're coming into Whatnot, make sure you're grasping the community side first and profit last. And that sounds so weird for me to say, because I'm all about making the profit. But I think in order for you to make the potential growth that you can do the most, you got to be willing to grow your community. And what was it? There was a sign, like a construction sign I saw today, and it says, "We will do good work at a profit if we can." And it says, but at worst, if a loss if we must, but always good work. And I'm like, that is such a good quality statement, that you would do your best that you can do, regardless whether you make a dime or not. Of course, you don't want to lose money, but at the same time, you can't control that. It's just how the cards fall. So
I don't know this answer because, I got approved. I went through the whole course thing for that half hour or whatever it was. And I didn't hit the stupid
QR code.
Yeah, QR codes. I never got on. But do you find it's mostly resellers buying, or is it just people in general? Or
so I have a couple that I know for a fact they're resellers, but I don't think they're coming from the group of the YouTube wave. I think these are people, because you can watch the comments and see the people who are what I call the resellers, who
Right.
want to buy it for a couple bucks and flip it for 20. Like you can tell those people. But some of the ones we're getting, I mean, they're bidding some items $10, $12, $15 for like a Harley hat that might only be worth 25 or 30. So they're investing in the fact that they know their material. So like if you bring a nice quality hat, like I'll share like this hat here. Like if you bring a nice quality hat, a beautiful hat, you better bring your A game, because if you don't know it, they're not going to be willing to buy it. And of course, most of the time my people don't want to spend $120 on a hat. They want to spend anywhere between $3 and $10. I think we range like, but I mean, it doesn't take long to have in an hour. You can sell 30 hats in an hour, 30, 35 hats. And
so, all right, let's stay with your hats.
Mhm.
High end on your side.
Okay.
Meaning what you feel you can get the most out of the hat. Let's say $30 or whatever it is. Where's your cutoff point of something that you won't put on whatnot? Is there a dollar value, or like would you be afraid to put a hat that's worth 120 up and start
absolutely. See, and that's where you have to, again, everyone has a different threshold. But I think mine, and they also have the buy it now group. So like just because we listed it in an auction, right? There is a tab where if let's say that like this hat, I can't put this up for a $5 start. There's no way. Even if I had 20 people in the room, there's no way that I think this hat could get to $100, $120 where it's valued. Okay. But if I knew that, hey, I'd be willing to take $75 or $80 if I really look at what it would cost me to sell that on eBay. And by the time it took me to wait for the sale, maybe 75 or 80 is the sweet spot, right? If I listed in to buy it now for 75 and I advertise it during the live as no pressure, hey, don't forget to check out the buy it nows. I have a few things in there that are really high quality pieces. I've had people buy straight out of there. And they go, hey, can you show me that hat? I'll go, yeah, let me show it to you. And I'll take the time and show it off like our own personal shopper, you know, and the next thing you know, you see the thing that says, oh, so-and-so purchased that item, you know, so
in a roundabout way, the answer is yes. There is a cutoff.
There is a cutoff. Yeah, there is a cutoff.
Of course.
You know, I think there's got to be smart as a seller. I'm not one to want to like lose money, right? But and
I understand, but don't you think if you had that hat, let's say it's $100 hat, don't you like preload all your items you're about to auction off? Aren't they sitting there and people can see what your auction's going to have in it?
Okay, there's several ways to do it. The way that we do it now, and we were teaching Scott how to do it, is a mass inventory list, which is like hat mix 1, right? Like you just put the name called hat mix, whatever it is. So you're not stuck pulling whatever item. So like if I was doing it by like listing every single hat, which took me 3 times as long, but I was stuck listing that hat. But what I found is that they want you engaged with them, right? So if you're reading how the chat's going, they go, hey man, we're really digging the sports. Well, maybe I need to pull more sports out where I had more, say, hunting or whatever else thinking that I was going to run. So right. I can kind of change it on the fly, make a few keyword edits right on the topic, on the item, and start the auction immediately. And we can run 30, 40 hats in an hour.
All right, let me run this by you. Can you do like, okay, so like mixed hat lot, right? And you're going to say you're going to have 40 hats, let's say.
Okay.
Sell at that auction, right?
Right.
Can you say, pick up that hat you just showing?
Okay.
Can you say this is the featured hat?
I can put this separately in a buy it now.
But
so that would technically be a feature.
Can you put in the comments or something that?
I mean, I could pin it. I could pin the actual item into the chat. I could pin it to the screen. But
okay, because my question to that is like if you're just starting out, wouldn't you want to maybe take a risk on a couple, maybe not $100 hat, but let's
say, I see what you're saying there. Maybe I would take a risk, say $30 to $50.
Good stuff that he auctions off, and just something I want to follow him, keep an eye on what he's auctioning off.
Yeah. We give up
to get
Scott's
started.
Seen it. I gave up a vintage Charlotte Hornets hat on my last live for $35 when I knew it was worth more. So like, I think you just have to kind of know your audience. You know, like right. I'm not telling you the very first live, do not do that on your first 10 lives, right? Maybe bring a $15 or $20 piece that if you, let's say you have $2 in the item, and I'm going to give this as an instance. Let's say I have $2 in a hat that I got, and I know this thing's worth $20. What's it going to hurt me, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, regardless of the value of the hat? If I started at $2, which is where most of my auctions, unless I have blowout nights, they start around $2. Because when we look at the payout on a $2, if it just went for $2, we get like $1.46 payout, which is not terrible. 11% plus your 30 cents per item.
Okay.
Not bad. What's a 54-cent loss? And now you're gonna say, well, that's a loss. But what if I was able to give someone a heck of a deal on a hat, right? Let's say a $10 hat or whatever it is. They got it for $2. Now they're going to buy another hat because now they're incentivized to buy another hat. I find that I might lose on one hat that I thought was like, oh, that's a $30 hat that just went for $8.
Mm-hmm.
And then a hat that I know is worth 15, and I have a $1 in it, sells for $9. So I've made up the money in the long run in the grand scheme of the auction. So I don't look at it per hat anymore. I look at it,
Alton, in that hat, you have basically zero time, zero effort, zero investment in it. Pretty much. You only have a few pennies on the dollar invested in it, and you let go for a couple bucks. You're giving them a great deal. They're happy. You're getting that inventory moving, so you're getting a great deal.
Yep.
And it's a win-win. It has to be a win-win for everybody to come back and go to the auctions. And
absolutely.
There's also the other side of this is we are selling a product, and somebody wants that, and whatever they're willing to pay, that is $10, $15, $20 is what they're willing to pay that night. So you're not going to put $100, $120 New York Yankee All-Star, the $120 hats that come out last year. You're not going to put those on your auction unless you're going to start at $80, $90. You can start that at $80, $90, and it'll probably go for $120. So
and like to me, and I'll share you this with you. I had a limited edition quilted Atlanta Braves hat that was a red with the black stitching all over. It was stitched like a quilt, but it was a 100% wool hat, and I ended up selling it to a viewer for like $40, knowing this was a $100 hat. Well, next thing I know, now all of a sudden he's back in every auction, and he's bought so much more from me because I took care of him. I mean, and what's kind of cool is I think Mike's going to bring a couple hats out and go, well, what could you get for this?
Right.
Because I know nothing about hats, and I just acquired.
Right. I mean, hats is one of the things I grew up with, and it was like my passion. As a kid, my cousin growing up was a basketball player. His passion was like the Jordan shoes, like being in all the new shoes. Well, I like baseball. We wore a lot of hats. So I actually loved hats. I had so many hats. It's insane. So,
all right. So I'm not going to go through all of them. All right.
Yeah, just show a few of them.
See, like it's brand new. Still got the cardboard in it.
Brand new. Okay.
I don't see any labels in it, but like a hat like that, does that sell for anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I could see that hat with the group that we have going anywhere between $4 and $8 a piece.
Okay.
Straight out of an auction.
So now you said Atlanta Braves, right?
Yeah. Now, not every Atlanta Braves is created equal, but see, now that's a beauty. That's got the raised stitching. Like you've also got to be able to understand your product and sell it, right? So that's part of it.
So like I said, I don't really know hats that well.
What size is that one? I can't see it.
7 3/8.
So that's a little on the small side. It's still in the sellable range. Like 7 3/8 is
serious raised letters on the.
Yeah, that's what I can tell you that from the get go. I was like, it had the raised stitching.
So
that's the beauty of a hat. Now, if I had to guess at minimum, that's a $30 hat at minimum.
This one here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's at minimum. Fitted's at least $30.
Okay, what about the Jack Daniels?
Oh, some of those could go. It depends on who's in the auction.
It's like a hunter's type looking.
Yeah, it's like a hunter's ear covering. Like it keeps the wind off their ears. I mean, Honestly, that could vary. You get the right buyer in. I've seen crazy stuff like that go $10, $12, $15.
Snapback.
Or it might go back for $2.
That's a snapback.
But is that one made in the USA or not?
This is New Era.
New Era. Okay. So that's the details there that you let your viewers. Oh, that's an older tag.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's
So
old
that's
school.
definitely vintage. So
Mhm.
you would put that in there and you would talk to your viewer and say, hey, we got a vintage New Era. Here's the tag. Show them the tag first. Show them it's a snapback and then show them the cool piece that it is. And it really helps them say, man, I really think that's cool too.
So now
if
this
you just
would be worth anything, right?
believe it or not, Marcus did a company logo hat sale and he was getting on average at least $2 or $3 a piece for them.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it might not be big money, but like if you come across them like he did for pennies. Oh,
Rob-
NRA now that's got good content, you know.
Mhm.
So you have to also look at it like that. Content sells, you know, especially anything with dealing with our rights, especially with gun rights and things like that. That'll sell big. Like that one may not. Like that, honestly, you know what I mean? Like that, we still throw them up at our auction because we want the variety. They might go for $1 or $2, you know.
Now this is Pro Bass.
Nice.
Bass Pro Shops, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that-
you can get a few bucks for that. Like, and I think that's where you kind of have to have the mixture.
All right, you ready? Can
Yep.
you tell what it is yet?
Is it just a brand new one?
I'm asking. Can you tell yet?
I can't see it yet.
Yeah, I can't see it yet.
Oh, John Deere. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Now, see, that actually, in that clean of condition, I would honestly put that in a buy it now, depending on where it's made,
Mhm.
because that is a nicer piece that looks brand new.
Okay, can you tell yet?
Not yet. I'm assuming another John Deere.
There you go.
All right. So, yeah, see, those actually bring more money because they're not the company associated hats.
Mhm.
Okay, wait. I got one more. Now this one's got a little staining. I don't know if I can wash it or what I should do with it.
See, that's the beauty of what we do is we try to wash the best we can, but even ones we point out the stain or dirt and they still sell.
This is like old school John Deere.
Somebody would buy that for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, just even with the colorway in the front, it's a beautiful content on the stitching.
Has, like, you know,
Yeah, like I still think that would sell
Something
easily
like
$5,
here.
$6. I think that'd go $4, $5, $6. Just
see on the
it might
burn?
not go much higher, but at least it would sell. So
Now should I lock those three together? Like put a threesome up there, or
now
Nope.
well, you could. I mean, I would do it individually because
Right.
that's a
I would
brand new
too.
hat.
Yep.
But I have also done it crazy where I've tried to sell hats individually, and I can't get a couple dollars for them. But
What
I throw
about-
them in a four
what
lot?
about
and
something
boom.
simple like the Heat hat?
Is it a New Era? Who's the company? See the company with fitteds or anything like that really matters when it comes to that. So it's a New Era. So what's the lining on the inside? So it should be a 5950 or 5950 for a fitted.
Mhm.
Oh, wrong way.
So then that one's going to be what, a 7 3/8 or 7 5/8?
I hate my camera because I don't know how to use it.
That's a beauty though. It's got the square patch in the back.
Yep.
So it has this here. It has
Yep, the Hardwood Classics. Yep,
okay,
that's just defining that it's for the NBA.
and then it's a 6 5/8. That's smaller than the other one.
I thought I saw a 5/8. I couldn't see the big number, but I saw.
6 5/8.
Yeah, so that would be a tougher sale. So what I would do with what I call the tougher sales, unless you know you have a reseller in your thing, that might be one to put on eBay. You know what I mean? That are
So now I believe,
ooh,
Oh, there you go.
not knowing much about hats, I believe it's going to be an older one. I'll show you the tag.
well, I can already tell you it's going to be that
Yeah,
because
I
the
can
old
tell it's gonna be
vintage. That's the
vintage,
old
yeah.
vintage logo.
Is that
I know
Old
AJD. Yep,
Yep.
that's an old vintage one. And the reason, another thing you can tell is flip it over. We're going to teach Mike something here. Flip it over. Look at the bottom. Look at the bill. What color is the bill?
green?
80 to 90% of all vintage 90s or like mid 90s hats had a green underbill
Mhm.
because it's what they used to wrap the actual bill when they did the stitchings. So that's a telltale way to know that it was a vintage hat was that green undertone underneath your bill. So,
Now I live in Florida, so gators are going to be found everywhere. But
yeah,
nice raised embroidered F on it.
yeah,
and
stuff like that would sell.
SEC on the side.
I sell stuff like that every auction,
Yep.
even Velcro. Yeah,
And if something doesn't sell one auction, you put it in your next one, and it'll
Now,
sell.
How about something like this? This has got to be like maybe their brand. Is that right?
Oh, Top of the World is an awesome
Top
brand.
of the world. Yep.
Yeah, Top of the World. We stress Top of the World. We get a lot of bidders on Top of the World hats.
And sports specialties.
Yeah, sports specialties, Top of the World, and
I
New
picked up
Era.
a.
What about
Raiders-
that? I throw it in the garbage?
No, do not throw that away.
No.
No.
Nope.
See, to me, that's content. Goosebumps, that's like kids, or I grew up reading Goosebumps as a kid.
Now,
Mhm.
So like,
inside the hat, it has their name on it too.
right. So that means that's a licensed product, Goosebumps, not like a reprint to like Walmart. That was a license through Goosebumps. So either depends on when that one was printed. It's probably printed with the movie that came out with Jack Black, I believe it was.
It's brand new. It's never been used.
Yeah. So that's easily a $10 hat at the minimum. I mean, so
Now,
it's just you have to look at value differently, even with used or new hats.
And the great thing is, you could do hats one night, video games the next night, and then
Yeah, absolutely.
Hot Wheels the next night, or action figures, or whatever.
Interesting to you?
Yeah, I do that. Boyle, I don't know necessarily about that, but what is it? The fabric. What is that? See, that would matter to somebody because it even has the content.
Oh,
of the
USA
flag.
flag.
I don't know what you'd call it, but it's definitely thicker. The whole thing. Here, maybe this will help you. Does that help you? Headwear?
Well, Pacific is it's probably like I would call that like a Walmart hat, like that kind of style of the brand. I
Like a
wouldn't say,
Gildan.
yeah. Which crazy enough, Gildan, anything '90s Gildan,
Mhm.
and the t-shirts is going crazy.
What can I do with this?
Sell it.
But the tags off of it.
Oh, that's still.
I mean, it was still. I think even in auction, you'd still be able to get some money for it because that logo.
How would you
You might
know
not pull this.
since it's snapbacks? I guess that's fits any size fits anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can usually tell like if it's an adult skull cap or if it's the youth. You can usually tell when you put your hand in it, when you expand it out. If you can't really get your hand to open up as an adult in the hat, it's usually a youth.
Now here, I believe that's older. And wait,
That's
I
nice.
learned something. No, it doesn't have the green inside though. See, it's blue.
No, see, so you're looking probably at least around like 2002 to 2004 probably for that hat. If I had to guess, just by the way the fabric and the stitching, just from what I saw. Yep, that puts it about right that time. That was right in the turn when they changed the tag. I'm not far off on these. I'm not. Oh, it's like I'm getting put on a test here.
Okay, so I want to show you one more thing.
You got it.
This is how far off base I've been going. Well, I'm going to show you four more things.
Go for it.
And this is way out of my realm.
Oh wow. Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, neither did I. That's 129, I think. And then Oscar de la Renta.
Oh wow. Yeah, see that stuff, do not bring that to Whatnot.
That's like $70 only. Now this one, I can't even find his name.
Who's
That
that?
one there, I listed it for $199. The name is that.
Zulianello.
But now when you do Morrow,
Uh-huh.
a lot of names come up, but never his.
Huh.
And then last but not least, the gem of my buy. And I actually took this to jewelers because I was afraid to sell it without knowing for sure. That there is Blue Lagoon by Makimoto. Do you see that name Makimoto ever?
Right?
It's $400 necklace.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely stuff that's eBay material, and I'm not telling you that you couldn't get into the high end stuff because I see a lot of people doing high end sales on whatnot. But I think it's also you got to have that following within that category. I watched some Legos. Like I watched Legos new in box sell hundreds.
Look, check these out.
See, now that would be kind of cool to go into, like if you did like a T-shirt and weird clothes auction.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a kind of a cool piece that if you say, I'm going to sell these shorts. These are funny. As a throw in too. I think you could sell that. But like that's because that's the content on the shorts. So I think that's where people start with whatnot is you start with the content, you start with building your community and you enjoy it. Try to make money, of course, but remember you're focusing on building your community first. So
I'm trying. I got some single stitch stuff, but I can't find it right now.
Mike, the clothing seller.
I hate clothing.
Mike, I forgot until I looked in storage. I had forgot you had sent me a box like a couple years ago. It was way before pre.
I was giving all my stuff. I gave all my stuff.
And I found a box of like polo and like, and I was like, because I won it. And I went, where did this box come from? And I looked in there. It was like all the stuff was polybag. I was like, oh, this was Mike.
Yeah.
That was too funny.
I gave that. I had 4 drawers full of clothing, and I was so tired of it. Every couple of days one would sell. I had to go run over to grab it. I was like, you know what? Enough of this. Time to get rid of it. Well, here's the thing, and I'm just going to start this now. If you want clothing, I'm going and I now clean out the clothing of the estate sales. So like I'm going to put them in boxes and ship them out to whoever wants them. $1, maybe $2 a piece.
Right.
I'm gonna have like a video.
Right.
Oh, and I'll just pull the shirts up one at a time so you can see what the box has in it.
Right.
And then you can go on my website and buy it if you want it. So.
Heck yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be good. I mean, good for us because like I was actually joking saying like I would love to do T-shirts and stuff, but I don't have enough sourcing to do like cool graphics on the tees, or if it's a single stitch, or I would love to be able to have those auctions, start them off at a couple bucks a piece and just let them go where they may. But there's so many resellers here. That's just one thing that I just do not care to get into. But if I had a source for it, it's on, absolutely. I think I see that right there's a beauty.
Jennifer Hayes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just sent her a medium box, a USPS medium box, full of what they call fashion jewelry or costume jewelry, right?
Right.
Because when I'm walking around my estate sales, I could just kind of like throw it in, and it's not going to cost me any, in my mind, it's not costing me any extra. That doesn't equate when I come and we negotiate the final price. Because remember, I get into these estate sales. Like I went to an estate sale Tuesday. That estate sale doesn't start till Saturday. So I get to come in and cherry pick the whole place, and now there's no reason for me to go back except Sunday to go clean out all the clothes. Now they had a lot of they were both doctors, so there's a lot of what are they called? What do the nurses wear? What the heck is the word?
Scrubs, yeah, scrubs.
Scrubs. So I got a lot of that. They got a lot of they were Filipinos. So there's a lot of some really nice clothing in there. So I think I'm going to do that just to help people out because I'm not looking to make much money on it. You know what I'm saying? Just my time and effort and the shipping costs. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I lay out $20, I want to get 40 out of it, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's respectful either way. Like, I mean, you got to make a little something for it. I mean, but sound like you're going to be leaving that meat on the bone for someone else to enjoy it too.
Right. So. And like I said, I'll put it up on my website with a video so you can see exactly what you're getting.
Heck yeah. I'm down for that. Shoot.
Right. Just 3 boxes. You know?
I'm gonna have to fight Scott to get to the box now.
Oh, I don't know about that. But I guess can we talk a little bit about eBay doing their auctions?
Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm not participating in that.
I'm not participating in it either. And I wonder why, because they used to be known for the great auctions. Everything was an auction. and what made them change their mind so quickly to do auctions all of a sudden? Because
I mean, I hate to say it, but the number one fastest growing auction app out there is Whatnot.
exactly, and
People
they're getting all
can
those
talk trash all they want to. I heard
Right.
someone go, "Oh, it's going to fail." How? Like, I mean, they might have
There's
some
no-
issues to fix, but the amount of money and the evaluation that I heard, it's insane. Like, there's no way unless there's something wrong with the way they're managing the funds, or maybe there's something in the back channel that could cause it to break. But I think you have that problem with any application or business. But holy cow, wow. As far as like a standpoint of functionality, yes, it's buggy, but I think when you're dealing with that many people on anything, it's a matter of building up your resources, and then it's like, you know what I mean, growing. And they're growing some growing pains right now
they
because
are
of the influx of
they're,
people.
they're definitely with
so-
everybody coming in and the whole YouTube thing. Everybody's from the YouTube communities coming from there, and
I mean, you're talking influx of thousands and thousands of people
just signing up.
within just like, it was just crazy. Within like 2 days, it was like X, and I was like, holy cow. Like, it was a lot of people.
And there's no returns there, right?
No. Now they could technically, like, so inside Whatnot, it does state that when a buyer bids, it is a contract and binding agreement.
Right.
But it's also an agreement you as a seller to ship exactly what you showed that buyer. So it is a two-way agreement, just like anything.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, though, in general, if you ship the shirt or whatever the hat,
Yeah, it's not coming back.
It's not coming back.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, so because they buy it as is, where it is, and that's what they stress you to make sure when you're showing your item, do the best you can. Like, we show every blemish. We say, hey, it's a little dirty here or whatever, no matter what it is. Or this box has got a ding here. Like, if you're saying those things, they're not going to bid if they don't want it.
Right.
And then with eBay, I guess I don't know if you get paid the next day. I know often you get immediate payouts, but
You'll get there.
definitely will. Yeah, definitely get there. But I'm just trying to see what's the advantage of going to eBay. You don't have the buyers that would be on the auction site. You don't have the community that would be in there. So I'm just trying to see why eBay jumped in like that and was trying to, just sort of like TikTok when that was going, and then YouTube said, "Oh, I'll do YouTube Shorts." It seems sort of like reactionary instead of proactive to me.
Right. I don't know. I feel like maybe they think that's the only way to gain that traffic back, because I don't care what anyone says, it has to be affecting the bottom line in sales, especially when it comes to like resellers and reselling. I see a lot of resellers wanting to sell on Whatnot because they're not able to move the inventory fast enough on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying move a $50 item for $5. It's not what I'm saying. But if you got $1 in something and someone offers you 15 and you could sell it for 30, a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you're better off to go ahead and sell that, make your dollar back, get your profit, and reinvest 15 more shirts to make you more money than waiting on the one.
Yep.
So that's the mentality that we have with Whatnot. But I can see a two-edged bad sword. A negative of that is that people are going to assume that it's items, and I think this is up to the seller. This is where the seller has to be better. Don't bring things to Whatnot that you wouldn't be willing to list yourself in the quality of it to eBay. I think that's where, like, would I want to sell a $10, $12 hat? If that was my business of hats, absolutely. I'd sell a $10 to $12 bread and butter hat all day. But would I rather sell it to that reseller for, say, $2 or $3, make my couple bucks and get out because I got pennies in it? Absolutely. I'm going to make my profit margin, and then I'm going to leave them to let them make their profit margin. I think profit margin is different.
I think it's the ultimate fast dime, like we always talk about. The fastest dime ever, really, when you can buy something that day and have an auction in an hour. So,
yeah,
now,
I mean,
it's also immediate pay, right? They pay immediately.
No, so when you first start, it is not immediate pay. So
I'm not talking about pay out. I'm talking about paid for the item.
Oh yeah, they have to pay immediately.
They're paid immediate.
Yeah.
It's Whatnot holds your money, but they pay immediately. It's immediately paid by the buyer. As a seller, it kind of flows the line of Mercari at first. And I know Scott's kind of growing through that growing pain to get to the 1,000 sales and reaching the criteria to instant payout.
Yep.
But once you hit that criteria, you don't have to wait for it to be delivered, right? And you don't have to wait that 24 to 48 hours after delivery for your payment to process to your account.
What about
So
shipping?
all that's handled through Whatnot. You print the shipping label. You
They
go
pay
in
for
and
shipping.
Right, but
they
I'm talking
pay the
about
shipping.
like if I sell, let's say, a hat, which is going to be first class,
Right.
and then
So we
you
have
sell-
profiles. We use profiles when we set up these auctions to create every single item.
okay.
We have to choose a shipping profile, anywhere between 4 and 6 ounces, or I tell Scott all the time to use the Funko one, which was 8 to 11 ounces, because by the time you pack a hat the right way, stuff underneath it, you're going to be that 8 to 9 ounces easy. So
Mhm.
why not give yourself the buffer if they're buying more? Because they're going to give you the buffer from 8 to 11 ounces or whatever their buffer is for that profile. They just all have a weight term. It doesn't really matter what the profile says. It's all
the,
weight.
one I was listening to today, if you bought one, it was, I think they said it was $5 shipping.
Right.
Mhm.
If you bought a second one, it only added $1. to it.
Dollar. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Now,
the shipping I was talking about earlier, and they pay that.
The buyer pays
Right.
that on checkout for each item going forward.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
so if somebody buys 2 hats from you, let's say whatever the item is, and it puts you over the first class, that dollar.
It doesn't hurt us.
Okay.
I don't know what they've got worked out, or
With the post office, yeah.
I don't know what they've got kind of deal with that, because there is a minimum threshold of that 1 or 2 items maybe that the plus $1 isn't beneficial as in shipping.
Right.
But there's a point when you're selling certain items that are lightweight, if you're on the bottom end of that profile, that you gain so much more buffer that you could, I don't know how to explain that. Like, you get so much extra weight overage from what they're calling for. And as long as it's under what they're calling for in ounces, you're good to go. And honestly, like, let's say one called for 20 ounces, and after I packed it, say with 4 or 5 hats that were decent hats, right? And let's say it ended up being 23 ounces and some change. I'll put 24 ounces on it, change it, and I've never had a problem. Because at a certain point, it's going to go regardless. I just don't know how they would pay that. So,
Gotcha. Okay,
So-
makes sense. Like I said, I'm in, but I'm not all the way in.
right, no, I got you. So, like, I'm gonna take Desert since he buys a lot of hats. Like,
Wait, one second. Alton was supposed to help me out and get me in.
I keep forgetting. Yeah, I have to help you get in and get you logged in. But Ryan hasn't even messaged me back to help someone else either. So, like, you're not alone. Because he was supposed to help me with Brian to get him logged in, and I haven't heard back yet. So I told Brian to hit support, and I don't think Brian wants to get on to do support. So, well, let's say someone bought 30 hats. I've had this happen. Someone buys 30 hats in an auction. The first one's $5. Well, now you're paying $25 extra in shipping. You're paying $30 in shipping.
Right.
Mhm.
Easy, or more. You're paying what? $34.
Yeah.
So you're paying way more than it costs to ship that box. So I wonder if they're like keeping the shipping profile for the ones that buy a lot, because like that dollar on every item is not going to constitute the difference in shipping on certain things.
For sure.
So there's got to be like some checks and balances of they even it out. They figure, oh, well, someone who buys a lot, they're going to help the ones who don't buy a lot. So it's got to be a way of it balancing out or something for it to make sense.
And I
So-
saw that there was feedback, and you got followers. I saw
Yep.
that today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feedback worked the same way. I mean, how could if they can't if they see it and they can't return
Well,
it?
it's more of the overall experience. It's the how fast did it ship? Like
Okay.
we get that. So like they give you a time frame, but like let's say you wait till the very last minute to ship, you might not get 5 stars. to
Okay,
get that.
so it's not like a worded feedback; it's more of a
It's
rating.
it's a rating. It's a 1 to 5 star on each category, like shipping,
Like on the
accuracy, communication, kind of deal. Yeah.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'd hate to say anything negative about it. I mean, there is a negatives that you you got to deal with people who want to come in and trash talk or kind of, belittle your stream or whatever. You get the trolls, but you just got to know how to deal with those. I mean,
Shopify is supposed to get into this game too, just so you know.
I think honestly, this, especially with the pandemic, really arose this need. I don't know if this was that communication side of it or that integration of people. This is a way for people to interact live and like categories of things that they like.
Right.
So, and I think if anything, it's more of it's a way of buying, but it's also a way of hanging out and almost like making a community of friends that you didn't even realize you had.
Hey,
so
just for a little side note, I just I had a 1 next to my YouTube, so I checked it. Lonnie's talking about, should I start selling on Whatnot today? See, but they have a powerful.
I like Lonnie,
they
but
do well.
They would do well with their following. So, like,
Right.
I'm not saying don't sell on Whatnot if you have the ability, but I'm telling you is 99% of the people coming to Whatnot don't have that following. So they needed to have the realization of, I'm not going to have 40, 50 people in my auction.
Right.
You're going to be like me, have 5 or 10. When I started, like it was rough,
I had another question earlier, and I just remembered it. Are your shows archived, or they just disappear when
they're gone?
They're gone. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can record them?
I know Daily Refinement does his recording while he's doing his auction for on YouTube.
Right. I saw that today. That's what I was watching.
But I'm sure that you could record it on your screen.
I'm sure you could screen record it, but at that point, I mean, I don't know what good that content would be.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, I have ulterior motives though with that I found out yesterday. So
sounds good.
Well, all right. Well, we'll move on. So, you want to show us real quick your thing with Shopify before we call it a night? Because
they're gonna take me.
I hate to call it early tonight, but I do have a Whatnot auction tonight.
Okay, no, because it's going to take me 10, 15 minutes to do it right. We can do it on another show. I'll show you.
All right, sweet. All right, well, we'll do that, and then we'll plan to do that on Thursday. We'll open it up with that and just do like a Shopify, and that way Brian's here to see the integration too, and live, and so that makes more sense, I think. So.
I mean, I do have a 2-hour live on it on my channel already, but I'll be more than happy to do it again here.
We'll do a single item and show us the walkthrough. All right, fellas. Well, that was a great little talking about Whatnot.
That was great.
I think
hopefully people learn some stuff. If they have any questions, I know they could message you on Instagram, right? Alton?
Yeah, Too Addicted, and they got you under Dumpster Diver Dad.
Yep.
And Flipping Goodies. I'm sure Mike, any questions they might be able to ask away. But
don't do Instagram though, because I'm horrible at social networking. my email is just flippinggoodies@gmail. That's
there. You go. There you go. Email preferred. There we go.
Yeah.
So
I'm old school. Right. I'm a lot older than both of these guys.
Oh. All right, fellas. Well, we will reconvene on Thursday, 8 p.m. and we'll have a go at it again, and we'll see what other shenanigans happens with eBay till then.
Oh, wait. Don't hang up.
What you got?
Clay wants to know what's your Whatnot.
My Whatnot. So I didn't even have it on here. My Whatnot is Addicted to Funko is my username, and I'm going on at 9:15. So I'll be on in like 20 minutes.
And I'm Triple D. I'll be on Friday night.
Yes. It's no spaces when we do our stuff. So like Scott's will be looks like it says tripled, but it's Triple D, no space, and then Addicted to Funko. So it's the number 2. So same way my channel was Addicted to Hustle, I just changed it to Funko. Just
now, how long on average? Just real quick, how long on average do you take on the auction?
On the auction, like tonight, I mean, I usually go about an hour. Usually about an hour is a good 30, 40 hats, depending on the show. But I'll tell you, last Saturday, I was only going to go on for an hour, and I went from 5 to 6, and then there were so many people in begging for more hats. They're like, come on, don't stop. And then I think, was it Scott went on at 7:42 or some crazy number, and I ran up until 7:30, but I made a killing. Like, and they were just ready to buy. They were like, I was like, I guess say strike when the iron's hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
All right, fellas. Well, if y'all want to come hang out in the live, let me know, and I'll see y'all then. All right, let's end this broadcast. All right.